All right, so now we're going to do the contact area and also the footer. Now, before we do that, I just want to show you the responsiveness of this because we haven't looked at it in a while. But you can see that on large screens, these authors are going to be 4 3-column divs, but as soon as we hit medium, it's going to go to 2 6-column divs. And I think this looks kind of cool how they like run into each other. And then obviously they're going to stack on very small screens. So if we go down, they're going to just stack, and it looks pretty nice. Okay, so pretty nice responsiveness here. So now let's add the rest of the site, which is going to be the contact and the footer. So we'll go to the index.html, go under the last section, and this will be contact. So for contact, of course, we want our section with the ID of contact. I actually also want to add class here. So for class, I want it to be BG light, and I also want a padding on the top and bottom of 5. Okay, we want our container, we want our row, and then what we're going to do here is have it on large screens. We want a 9-column div for the form, and then a 3-column div for the logo, and anything under large will stack. So let's say call LG -9, and let's see, we want to add in here an H3. We're going to say get in touch, then we'll do a paragraph with a lead class. And let's just do lorem 10, so 10 words here, just kind of a description or whatever. And then underneath that, we're going to do a form. And in this form, we're going to have a div with the class. This is going to be an input group. Remember those with the little add-ons? So I just want to have kind of a little icon with the form input. So it's going to have a class of input group, as well as I want to make it large, so it'll be input-group-lg, and then let's do a margin bottom 3. So in this input group, we want to add the class of input group prepend, whatever. So this will come before the input, and inside here we need a span with the class of input-group-text. And then in here is where we want to put whatever we want in the add-on. I want to put an icon, so I'm going to say i.fas.fa-user, because this is going to be a name field, so we'll put an icon of a user. So we want to go underneath this div here, which is the input group prepend, and then we want to put the actual input. So this will have a class of form control. And let's give it a placeholder. Of name. So let's see what that looks like, just to make sure that we did that right. Okay, so now you can see we have a little icon with the input, so that looks pretty good. So underneath that, we're going to have the email, which is going to be pretty similar. So what I'll do is copy the whole input group. So this div will go directly underneath, paste it in, and let's change the icon. So it'll be FA. We'll do envelope open O, and we'll change the placeholder to email. Okay, and then underneath that, we want the message, which will be a text area, but it's also going to be an input group. So I'm going to copy this again, go down here, paste that in, and let's change the icon to FA-pencil-alt. And by the way, if you want to use different icons, just go to fontawesome.com and check them all out. So this is not going to be an input, it's actually going to be a text area. So I'm going to change this to text area, and then of course that needs a closing tag. For placeholder, we'll say message, And I'm also just going to add a rows attribute and set it to 5 like that. All right, and then underneath, I'm just going to save this to format it. Then underneath that last input group, we want our submit. So I'm going to say input, we'll give it a type of submit. And for value, we'll just say submit. And let's make this look a little better. So we'll do btn, btn primary, btn block to make it go all the way across, and we'll make it large. Now, on the other side, so this column LG9 ends right here. So I'm going to go right below it, and we want a 3-column div. So let's say call LG-3, and then I'm also going to align the logo to the center. So we can do that by saying align self center. And then we just want to put the image in here, and the image will have a class of img fluid, so it fits in its container no matter what. And the source is going to be in the img folder, and it's called mlogo.png. So let's save that and let's check it out. And there we go. Okay, so you can see that this is aligned in the center here instead of being up here. This form looks pretty good, except the icon isn't showing for the email for some reason. Let's see, FA envelope open. Let's just try FA envelope. I get a little confused because I used Font Awesome 4 for so long, so some of these, yeah, so now that works. Just use FA envelope. So now the footer we're going to do, which is pretty easy. We'll go under the last section, add footer, and we're going to use the HTML5 footer tag with the ID of main footer. We'll add a class of py5 for padding on the top and bottom, bg primary, I want it to be the color, and then let's make the text white. Okay, and inside here we'll do same thing, container. We want to do a row, and we want to line everything, all the text to the center. And we're going to put a 6-column div here. So it'll be call MD6. And then I want to just align it to the right. So I'm going to do a class of ML auto, margin left auto. And we're going to put a paragraph with the class of lead. And in here I want the copyright. So I'm going to say copyright and then ampersand copy semicolon. And then we want the year. Instead of hard coding it, I'm just going to put a span with the ID of year because we have that little snippet down here that takes care of that for us. So let's save it. Let's take a look. Okay, there we go. Copyright 2018. So the last thing we have to do is implement the scroll spy and the smooth scroll, because right now, I mean, we can go to about, we can go to meet the authors. We can move around here. Actually, home we can't because we need to put the home ID on the body. So let's do that stuff. Let's go back to the top here. Go to the body tag. And let's see, on this body tag here, we're going to add the ID of home. We're going to add data spy equals scroll, and we're going to add a data target of number sign main nav. Now the nav bar, we need to add an ID of main nav. And then let's make sure that these links, so this should go to home, about, authors, contact, I believe, yeah, that should be right. And then we have, let's see, so home, and then the next one will be about, then it's going to go to authors, and it's going to go to contact, which is right here. All right, good. So now what we need to do is add our JavaScript. So all the way at the bottom here, we need to first initialize scroll spy. So to do that, we'll use jQuery on the body, and we're going to say dot scroll spy, and it takes in an object with a target, and that target is going to be hash main dash nav. Okay, and sorry if you can hear that traffic. And then underneath that, we just want our block of jQuery for the smooth scrolling. So for that, instead of typing it in, because we've used it already quite a bit, I'm going to just paste it in. Okay, so let's save it. Let's give it a shot. So I'm going to go up to the top. I'll click About. Okay, it scrolls down, Meet the Authors, Contact, Home, and there we go. All right, so I think that's going to do it, guys. I think it looks pretty nice. Let's just check the responsiveness one more time. So if we go down, that looks good. Form looks good. Logo is going to get really big, but that's fine. And we have our copyright. Okay, so that's it. In the next video, we're going to jump into the Glosm theme, which is going to be a multi-page theme. Up to this point, the first two were just basically single pages where we just go down to certain areas. But this next theme, we're actually going to create multiple HTML pages.